And welcome to a new episode of Father Mahoney's House of Horrors. So I'm continuing down the rabbit hole of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. We're doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, also known as Texas Chainsaw The Next Generation. Now, this movie I find very interesting. Is it great? No. Is it terrible? In a lot of parts, it is. But I do find a few things very compelling about this movie. It's not your typical run-of-the-mill Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. First of all, I don't think the main character here is Leatherface. I think the main character here is Vilmer. I would love to see this movie. I would have loved to see this movie rebranded as a Vilmer movie with Leatherface as a background character, because Matthew McConaughey is so fantastic in this movie. That's why I can't hate this movie, because Matthew McConaughey is a joy to watch. Yes, I know Renee Zellweger's in this too, Jerry Maguire fame, but I don't really see her acting chops in this one. I think this was something to get her on the map, and then when Jerry Maguire hit big, you know, they released it with Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, hoping to get sales that way. But I find it an absolute joy to watch Matthew McConaughey in this movie. What I also mean about, Leatherface is not the main character, and this family is not as scary or as convincing as the other movies. What we get, instead of a straight killing movie, we get an experiment in fear movie. Because this movie basically is almost run by a politician. His name is Rothman. And we don't get to see Rothman till the end. But Rothman, when he arrives, he is pissed off that she's still alive. And he goes on to try to torture the crazy Vilmer. And that lets Jenny, who's played by Renee Zellweger, get out. And we later find out that Rothman basically he's a bad guy, but he also becomes the savior in this one too. So he ends up saving Jenny, and Jenny's not really appreciative because she just went through hell, like all the past victims in all the other movies. But I kind of find the interesting twist on the experiment and fear thing. That a politician knows that this goes on, but it also raises the question, and this is going to get a little political, do politicians know or run experiments like this? I mean, maybe not in this crazy demeanor way, but what kind of things that politicians do to learn from our minds, or how to manipulate our minds, maybe. So that's why I find this one a little interesting. I can still watch this movie. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll never waste my money. Rewatch it. You still may not like it, but man, if you're a fan of maniacal acting, Matthew McConaughey as Vilmer is your invitation to maniacal. It's still not a great movie. There's still a lot of flaws. The background cast, besides the girl who plays Darla was really good. The rest of the cast was not convincing to me. It's if you have an hour and a half to waste, rewatch this. Obviously, don't go out of your way, because overall it's still a bad movie. But I really challenge you to rewatch this movie. because I guarantee you'll find at least one thing you like. So with that in mind, let's see where we are for time. Yeah, so out of a 5-star, I'm going to give this, and this is solely on just Matthew McConaughey, 2. That's how good this acting is. He got a 2. He's the reason I'm giving this a 2. If he wasn't in this movie, I would give 0. But he makes it. His scenes make it watchable. How crazy he acts. And we've seen a lot of sidekicks of Leatherface. I'll call them sidekicks, even though they're brothers. Or, we've seen the Hitchhiker. We've seen Chop Top. And then part 3, you see Joe Unger's character as like the older brother. Those were all pretty maniacal. And even Tex in part 3 was kind of maniacal. But this one, Vilmer is my favorite sidekick. I will go on record. And that's saying a lot because I'm a huge Bill Moseley fan. But man, I would have loved to see a Vilmer movie. So with that said, 2 stars. Go check it out one more time. I'm begging you. Much love.